Hello, I'm here to tell you about my new upcoming webcomic, Hiraeth. It takes place in a modern-day fantasy setting called Acheros. In Acheros, there are 5 main races: Drexels, Elves, Goblins, Leodans, and Herbolds. For the past few years, Ezrael, a Drexel who is kind of the king, has been making people miserable by making his undead army take over towns and take in slaves for his own personal gain. Mina, one of his Drexel slaves, escapes and wants to go back to her hometown, but has to go the long way since Ezrael, being the meanie he is, has taken over every other nearby city. That's where the story starts. Mina takes a long trek back to her hometown with a group of misfits. There's Anne, an elf, Apollo, a Leodan, Fletcher, a half-goblin, and Moss, a possessed goblin. Each has their own story of why they agree to help Mina with her adventure. Now onto these characters so that you get to know them a little better. Mina's a Drexel who was taken as a slave by Ezrael for 4 years. She tried to escape many times, to no avail, until one night. After the escape, she meets Anne, Apollo, Fletcher, and Moss. She's hesitant to trust them, but she wants to get home because she knows it's destroyed, but she just wants to see if her family is okay. She's vengeful to Ezrael and wants to get back at him. Apollo is a Leodan that left his hometown since he was basically disowned for not being a quote-unquote normal Leodan. They're normally tough, brave, cunning, but he's just a big softy. He still tries to be tough to be what his parents expected, but he's not too good at it. He loves to keep small little rodents in his mane from time to time. Apollo also deeply cares about his boyfriend Fletcher. Now on to Fletcher. He's a half-goblin who loves to fluster Apollo by commenting on how shiny his mane is and how his eyes just sparkle. Fletcher absolutely loves anything shiny and will keep anything shiny in his bag. He's very knowledgeable and always wants to learn. He's currently learning how to practice voodoo and other general magic, though he only performs magic in dire situations since he's still learning, since he has a big fear of messing up. Anne is an elf who is also taken by Ezrael but escaped a year earlier than Mina. Rather than lashings, Anne would be shocked and ultimately had her soul taken by Ezrael and was cursed. The eyes on her hand show her visions of the worst possible outcomes that will happen, and she often feels guilty that she can't do anything to stop it from happening. Since she doesn't have a soul, she's not passionate about anything, and is now very sarcastic whether she wants to be or not. Moss is a goblin who got possessed by a demon. How, you ask? Well, he was raised in a town where religion was everything. He was forced into this religion, which he realized was cultish. He strayed away from it, but felt empty because it was all he had ever known. To help him, he tried to summon a spirit to help guide him, but accidentally summoned a demon who possessed him. He's adamant on researching the demon that possesses him, and likes to keep notes on it. Ezrael is a name you've heard a lot of, but don't really know a lot about him. He's a Drexel who was born into this position of power and has abused it. He's the last person alive in his family, so there's nothing stopping him. Not that his family would be better, everyone in that family had abused the power as well. He's a very powerful necromancer, so no one dares to challenge him. So that's Hiraeth, coming spring, summer of 2021. Can't wait for it? Consider becoming a patron. Starting at only $1, the Duck tier will give you access to the concept art, and at $5, the Goose tier will give you access to the pages as I make them, which, if you don't know, I've been working on the pages for just a little bit, so those are going to be posted pretty soon. This also includes a sneak peek at the timelines and scripts. Thank you so much for listening and being interested in my story. I'm super excited to start on it, and I have a few other projects I want to work on with the story.